If you're struggling with money right now, I need you to hear this without panic and without shame. You're not bad at money, you're not behind, and you are not stuck. But you might be running an old money identity that your brain is still treating like survival truth. Because right now, most people are not just dealing with inflation or bills or opportunity gaps. They're dealing with something deeper. A subconscious money story that is silently running every single decision. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Your brain will prioritize what it believes is familiar over what it believes is possible. So even when opportunity shows up, even when money shows up, even when solutions show up, your brain doesn't recognize it as safe. So today is not about judgment. It's about awareness. Because if you can see the system, you can change the system. And if this is your first time listening and watching, then your highest self is truly ready for you to be a receiver of new currency. If you're familiar with manifesting miracles, then these techniques should upgrade your current reality. My name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and I'm the host of this award-winning top 1% with nearly 1 million downloads podcast without any marketing or any money being spent. I simply use the law of assumption, attraction, and my mastery manifestation techniques to attract people like you to this podcast to change their neuroplasticity and help them start manifesting right now. Why you're not manifesting money? You're running an old money identity. All right, so before we go any deeper, I want to explain something that will completely change how you understand money. Because money is not just financial, money is neurological. Our brain is always filtering. Your brain is not a camera, it's a filter. And it does not show you, it doesn't show you the reality you're living in. It shows you what you've been trained to perceive or to notice. In neuroscience, we call this predictive coding, confirmation bias, and attention filtering through your reticular activation system, or your RAS. It's the part of your brain that decides what's important enough to notice. And so if your identity says, and it expects to feel, that money is stressful, you get money and then it disappears, money causes problems, your brain will literally scan the reality to prove that this is true. Not because it's accurate, but because it's efficient. So your brain is not trying to make you rich. It is trying to make you right. This is where most people get stuck. They're not seeing fewer opportunities. They're actually filtering them out, not consciously, but subconsciously. And here's where we start to transition that idea. So the real question is not, how do I get more money? The real question is, what identity is currently filtering my money reality? So we have to rewrite this story. Every single person has a money story, and it was not chosen consciously. It was installed, usually in childhood, through what you heard, what you saw, what your nervous system could hold. And that's how it was built. Money was either stress, silence, arguing, financial lack, pressure, unpredictability, medical issues. This is how money behaves. That's what you learn. And now as an adult, you're not responding to money logically. You're responding to money emotionally. So here's the first reset point. I want you to start with this. Ask yourself, when was the first time that I learned what money meant? Was it safety? Was it fear, control, or survival? And what did I have to become in order to feel safe in that environment? Because the version of you may still be running your financial decisions right now. In fact, it is. So now here's where everything starts to change, honestly, because you don't fix money by chasing it. You fix money by upgrading the identity that is experiencing the frequency called money. There is a version of you that already exists. that is no longer anxious about money, not because they have more money, but because they relate to money differently. You see, this version of you, I call your future financial regulated self, okay? This version of you, FF, that's future financial regulated self, FFRS, doesn't control outcomes, doesn't chase opportunity, doesn't abandon themselves to earn approval. They are regulated. They are grounded. They are resourced. So let's get into it. I want to help you try something simple. Right now, ask yourself, if I was already financially safe, how would I think about money differently? Ask that question every single day. How would I make decisions? How would I breathe? How would I spend it? How would I receive it? And most importantly, how would I stop abandoning myself, what I came here to create, for money? Because that's the shift. It's the reality identification shift that I'm trying to teach you. Most people think they want more money. They don't. What they actually want is relief, freedom, safety. They want to erase and they want it to be easy. And when you become the identity that already carries those, money stops feeling like survival and it starts becoming flow. All right, so you're not manifesting money. You're reinforcing a money identity. And whenever you repeat your strength, so if you take nothing else from this episode, take this. You're not stuck financially. You're patterned financially. And patterns can be rewritten. Your brain is not your enemy. It's your mirror. Ooh. And once you learn how to change what the reflection says, your entire reality starts to shift. It's called quantum leaping. Don't just think about money. Think about your identity in the pursuit or in the vibration of money, because the version of you that feels safe receiving already exists. You just have to stop living from the version of you that believes that it doesn't and start practicing the one that does. Ooh. All right, you guys. My name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and like I said, here are the 3 principles that I need you to understand. First, you don't have a money problem. You have a money identity disconnection. All right. Second, until you re-understand, rewrite, and rewire that money story, anytime money appears, whether it's positive or negative, your brain isn't deceiving or deciding, hey, we just got $10,000. That's amazing. It thinks, oh my God, we got $10,000. What do we pay off first? Do we need to help grandma out? Do we need to donate to charity? What are we going to do with it? What if we put it into a savings account? What if we need it? What if we spend it right now and we need it a year from now? Stress, 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 stress. And so you might think, oh, well, if I got money, everything would be fixed. No, your problems actually expand because now your brain is really overwhelmed because it thought the solution was money, but the solution wasn't money. The solution was understanding where that pattern came from. You see, in a quantum field of energy, you can only start to co-create with the version that you identify with. So when I was talking about your money identity, you don't want to say, I identify as a millionaire, because if you did, you would be a millionaire. In fact, let me give you a little test. If I was to say right now, in my Manifesting Miracles Academy, my hair is going crazy. It's so humid here today. It's crazy humid. So my hair is like, ugh. And I just took a shower. It looks like I didn't. All right. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Neurodivergent. All right. All right. So if I was to say to you right now, if you go to my community, Manifesting Miracles Academy, and you enroll, I have a fail-proof $1 million morning money routine. And if you do this routine in 45 days, you will have, now, close your eyes. I want to say it again, and I'm going to throw out some numbers. Tell me which one you believe you could receive. Just say that one. I have a $1 million, let's change it. I have a morning money routine that will switch the identity and shift you into that next reality. If you do everything in this protocol correctly, you could manifest, with your eyes closed, $100 in the next 7 days. Feel pretty good about that? When I do this at events or at speaking events or even live on TikTok, about 90% of the people feel comfortable manifesting $100. Now let's go to the next identity. If I was to say, join Manifesting Miracles, and I have a morning routine that would help you manifest $1,000 in the next 7 days, close your eyes. Would you join to believe and receive that? Do you see yourself being able to manifest $1,000 easily? Okay, now we know where that is. And if that's true, then you should go to my bio, click the link, and go grab that that morning money routine. There is one. Okay. Now, what I'd also like you to do, if you really believe that you have that money identity and that's something that you can do right now, then I want you to write a check to my favorite charity, PETA. Or my second favorite charity, Fostering Hearts, Florida. Okay. So if you were to donate right now, if you believe that your identity is that if I teach you this technique, you could manifest $1,000 in 7 days, and you're like, yeah, I could do that. I know that I'm that ahead of the game. Perfect. Sign up for the community, go do that audio class, and then in 7 days, I want you to write me a check dated 7 days from today for $1,000 to either Fostering Hearts, Florida, which is a foster children's charity, or to PETA, because I'm a vegan. And then, what do you say about that? Now, for those of you who are like, yeah, Michelle, just because you taught me the technique doesn't mean you own the money. I'm going to keep that $1,000. I'm going to give it to my niece and my daughter. I'm going to pay for a credit card off. I'm going to buy new tires. I'm going to quit my job for 3 weeks and go do something I really should be doing, which is what I hope you do, because they don't deserve you. Okay, but you're not going to tell me how to spend that $1,000. What does that say? Now, if I was to say $10,000, I want you to write me, you believe that you could manifest $10,000. Do you believe that? Are you willing to manifest it and then give it to me or one of my charities? All right. What about 100,000? How do you identify now? Trust me, we're going somewhere with this. Close your eyes. If I told you the exact protocol that I've had lots of people use over and over and over again to keep being a consistent manifester of money, could you manifest $10,000? And if so, are you going to do it? And if you do it, are you going to give it to me like I'm asking you to? No? What about 100,000? Do you perceive yourself as somebody with the right techniques and the right training and the right coach that I could teach you and harness all of your energy and your magic and your gifts and your talents to manifest 100K? You say yes. Usually about 5% of the people agree to that amount. Well, if that's you and you're going to manifest 100,000 in 7 days, I would like you to give me that $100,000 right back to help the foster kids in Florida with Fostering Hearts Florida or the animals around the world with PETA. Now, what about $1 million? You see, everybody says they want to be a millionaire. But what happens if I really can show you a technique to get you $1 million in the next week? Would you then be willing to give it to me? Honestly, with your hand on your heart, saying, I swear on the life of my children, I swear on the life of my dog, if you taught me how to do this and I could actually see myself manifesting that $1 million, I would give it to your charity. You see, when we do this practice, 9 out of 10 people, no matter the dollar amount, won't give me the money. They're like, this technique was for me. I joined your community so I could learn it, not so I could give the money away. And there lies the identity. You see, you don't believe that you could do it again. You thought, I only learned this one way, this one time. It'll never happen again. I'll never have my hands on $1 million or 100,000 or 10,000 or 1,000. But maybe $100 you feel comfortable because that's where your identity that's the cap of your identity. You see, you can't manifest what you haven't healed. And you haven't healed it because you haven't identified it. And you haven't identified it because the reticular activation system in your brain identifies you as somebody who struggles with money. And that's why I created my community, Manifesting Miracles Academy, not because I want you to be rich, although that's a nice side benefit. I want you to be happy. You didn't incarnate here into Earth, the teaching planet, to become a spiritual accountant and to see if you could get all the marbles. That's for all the people who know that they're not going to a place of evolution and they've sold their identity to the planet Earth. And so they keep recycling themselves and coming here and try to control more and more and more and more of our souls and our energy. But you see, our brain is very, very malleable. And once we train the brain to see themselves as the identity of this, we can then start to bring in rituals, protocols, angels, deity, tarot, candles, sigils, whatever it is, because your brain has already bypassed the money part, and now you get to exercise the magic part. You see, the magic never left. You left the magic. The universe didn't abandon you with $100 instead of $1 million. Your identity did. And no matter how many affirmations you do or how much scripting you do or how much law of assumption you do, until you understand this 3 core principles, you're going to be stuck in a paycheck that's limited to the amount of healing that your brain has perceived. And so your money identity stays at that number. Maybe it's 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. Then you know what, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, etc. Because you have switched that identity. So I want you to understand that you don't have a money problem. You have an identity problem. And I have created a community where every single month we touch on all 3 of those subjects. And if you are ready to stop playing small and really start changing your life, then this episode should have motivated you, taught you, and inspired you to seek outside of your norm. Because the version of you that is playing small and is still here watching this podcast, well, it's ready to jump in, dive in head first into the deep end and see how much you can grow. So every single month, I have an audio class for your nervous system. Did you hear that? There is an audio class. You've already, if this is the month of May, you've already could have listened to this for 5 months. I started in January. So if you enroll right now and the first month is free of MMA, you can go and listen to all 5 of these nervous system regulation workshops. And they have a workbook. You can go in and journal. You can talk to your inner child. You can do all that work. And if you really want to get in and out and you don't trust the process, you can quit after a month. But if you stay, it's $20. So it's $5 a week after that. For what? Changing your life. And if you go to my website, you will see testimonials like the one from Amanda from Alaska that came in today while I was on TikTok Live. She said, in 2021, I started listening to your podcast. And in 2023, I signed up for my first class. It took her 2 years to trust me enough to join this process. So then what did Amanda say today? She said, and I learned to rewire my brain, my nervous system. And when I met you, I was dating this pretty much loser guy who was using me all the time for my gifts, my talents, my intuition, and my intelligence at the same time by being controlling. And I was living in his trailer in the desert with his kids every other weekend. And slowly but surely, you made me realize that I was not living for myself, but I was living for the identity that he had created and not herself. So after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months of working with me, she got the courage to leave the trailer and the man. Now, here we are, 2026, and in 4 short years, so she started at the end of 2021, and now it's the middle of 2026, so 5 years. She is now making well over 6 figures. Not only is she a homeowner, but she is a landlord. And she bought a duplex and rents out her property. And on top of that, she got 2 different dream jobs just this year. She got, she's working at a college in Alaska. And two different departments fought over her because her identity is a winner, is somebody who makes money, somebody who's a receiver, somebody who is top tier, instead of somebody who was subjugated to what that man wanted to give her. And so once she got in touch with that version of herself through my classes, my courses, and my teaching, and enrolled in one program after another, she also had this dream that she could make money petting horses. Now you might say, that sounds crazy, Michelle. And if she had told me what her dream was when we first started, I would have been like, that sounds amazing. And last month, she was offered a 6-figure job to massage equines, horses. And she got an equine massage therapy, which didn't take her very long to get certified in. And now she has a full college community that is begging her to sign a contract so she can write grants for them, which she just studied and did on her own. She doesn't have a degree in anything. And then to get 6 figures for her dream job, to play with horses and work with horses. And she is now officially a landowner and a landlord. So when we look at Amanda, who started listening to the podcast in 2021, and took her 2 years of listening to my podcast and trusting me, trying these techniques out to sign up, today she proclaimed how far she had come since getting introduced to her higher self by me on a podcast in September of 2021. And now it's May of 2026. And she has the world in the palm of her hands. Now, wouldn't you want that same result? Don't you want to be the next success story that I talk about? Well, if you go to my page, michellejlamont.com, or you click on the show notes, you'll be able to review hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of positive 5-star reviews from clients and people just like you. They didn't know where to start. They felt like they had already waited too long. They didn't think that they had what it took. Baby, you were born for this. The world has made you believe that you're separated from your creator and that you're not capable of these things. I'm your guide, Michelle Juanita Lamont. And my only goal in this world is to create a community in which I could teach you, guide you, and help you reconnect to that biggest, most powerful, most abundant identity. So your brain says, yeah, and your energy says yes. All right, my love, my name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and this is Manifesting Miracles. So we're going to close like we always close. And if you don't know how we close, we do 2 phrases twice. Everything is always working out for me, and everything is always working out for us. Now, before I end, I'm going to give you one last try. Did you click the show notes, and did you join Manifesting Miracles? This is my opportunity to show you how big you can be. But it's going to take you trusting this process enough to get off of the screen and into my community. All right, so let's get into it. And in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Us again. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything. All right, you guys, it's time for you to join Manifesting Miracles Academy and change everything in your life. The first month is free, so you can try everything out and see how you do. I love you. You're worthy. You're worth it. And I cannot wait to guide you back to the reality of the biggest and the highest consciousness, the identity where manifesting is easy, it's fun, and it's who you've always been. I love you. Now go and listen to another episode, but most importantly, sign up for Manifesting Miracles Academy right now.